we're going to continue our series in bad money habits that business owners have that is impacting their business profitability. We want to make sure that we are thinking and looking at the different trends and understanding our business better. So what my job is when it comes to financial literacy, financial education, is to get you guys thinking, whether it's in your business life, your children's life, your personal life, your retirement life, to get you thinking in these different aspects. So you're thinking about, am I doing this? Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this? Always working on what you can do to maximize your profits. What's the use of just working, and you're not working smart, you're working hard, but not smart? Yes, I agree that everyone should work hard. But if you're working hard and you're spinning your wheels and you're not working smart, then what's the purpose of that? So I believe that we should work hard, but even more so, I believe we should be working smarter. So today we're going to cover inconsistent cash flows. The cash flow statement is one of the things that business owners themselves are constantly looking at, using, without even knowing that you're doing that. So that's one of the things that we need, you're going to be the most familiar with, and you want to understand how you should be looking at that, how best to use the cash flow statement, and how much, it affects your business. So, what is inconsistent cash flow? Well, what is it? It is, when something, cash flow occurs in the business, inconsistent cash flow occurs in a business when we don't have enough cash coming in and to pay out our liabilities, or, not enough cash to pay our liabilities or our expenses. What happens when that happens? The cash flow balance in the business is no longer enough, and therefore the business struggles to pay its debt. That's basically it. What happens when that? Before we move on how dangerous inconsistent cash flow is, we want to talk about your business and how to avoid the repercussions of inconsistent cash flow. We want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of how this would happen to you. The phenomenon of this is related to outflow, inflow, or both, which means incoming of cash, outflow of cash, or both. I believe it happens in both situations. So, if your business have irregular income due to slow paying customers or seasonal fluctuation, you need to understand your cash flows. Like, for example, I'm an accountant. I'm a tax CPA. Tax CPAs are super, super busy during a certain time of the year. So between, let's say, between the months of January, February, and April, we're working like machines. We're working crazy. We're working a lot of hours, and we're working. That's where most of our revenues come from if you're just a tax CPA. For me, I work crazy then, but I'm constantly working for the rest of the year, but most of your money is made during that time. So when people ask me about this, I tell them I'm a squirrel. I save up for, save my nuts up at that point and allocating it to my expenses during the year, because I still have expenses that are happening during the year. I have payroll, I have, other expenses that are fixed expense that are going to happen whether I'm making money or not. So, that's one of the situations where if you're not controlling your cash flow properly, you're going to get into trouble within your business. So some businesses have that. A lot of businesses have slow season and busy season. So that's where your cash flow control and your cash flow fluctuations happen, and you need to make sure that you're understanding how to make sure that your cash flow is going to flow nicely, your money is going to flow nicely in order. So the one thing is you do need to understand your business. There's also different issues that comes with cash flow. You might have your certain equipment that breaks down, or there might be disasters, these different things where you're going to have additional cash in there. So that's why it's important to have an emergency fund, so you can pour into your cash flow from your emergency fund that is separate from your operating cash flow. Most companies struggle with managing their cash flow simply because they're not collecting their receivables on time, or they're not accumulating their cash and their investment growth. So, liquidity is always an ongoing issue. That is where the cash flow statement comes in. One of the things that you need to look at with cash flow is your accounts receivables and your accounts payable. You want to be able to, the tips to managing your accounts receivables and your accounts payable is important. Offer discounts for payments, for quicker payments. If you need to have that, you can offer a discount for that. Check your contracts to make sure your companies and you're not paying your suppliers early. So you want to make sure you're paying your suppliers when it's due, so your cash flow is even through the time. Engage your customers to help them prevent them from late payments, disputes, defaults, things like that. So you want to make sure that you are being engaging with your customers. Map your business, with your critical suppliers to determine the priority of payment, so you understand how to prioritize how you're going to pay certain things. For example, my tax program is one of the things that is the largest expense for me. When I subscribe to that program every year and I understand what it's going to cost me, there are different payment options for me. I don't have to pay all of it at once. If I want, I can do that. They have different payment plans for you, so that's something that will help me manage my cash flow depending on what my cash flow is like, So those are the things that you need to be looking at. And are you investing that gold pot at the rate of inflation or above? So these are all different things that you need to understand when you're understanding cash flow. This is the Modern Savvy CPA, and this is all about liquidity. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to give me a follow to get updated on new and upcoming episodes, and listen in every Tuesday and Thursday, where I teach you smart money habits so you can make better money choices with a financial goal focus.